And the European Commission president announcing that the EU, I'm just reading here the quote, will ban Russian media outlets, that's RT and Sputnik, accusing us of spreading harmful disinformation. We try our best to put a balance across. We're licensed by Ofcom in the UK and Europe. They've deemed us to be OK to license. We are, of course, going to put the Russian point of view. What's wrong with that?
Well, what's wrong with it is that it's totalitarian. You don't suppress media outlets. That's a basic principle. If the EU is going to suppress RT and Sputnik, that means European Union citizens will no longer be able to watch those channels. No one forces them to watch them. It is a measure that she has announced which drastically reduces the liberties of EU citizens. I'm sure it doesn't make a slightest bit of difference to Russia. But it does make a difference to people who want to watch RT and Sputnik. And I mean, we've got used to totalitarianism for 2 years now with all the COVID madness. But this is in the same category. In any case, what laws is she claiming to be operating under? The EU doesn't have that authority. Any more than it has the authority, by the way, as far as I know, to close airspace, as you mentioned in your report.
So we'll come to that in a minute. I suppose you can still watch us at RT.com on a live section. You can watch the television feed. We'll be broadcasting to most of the rest of the world. But, yeah.
All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving all praises, honors, and glories due to Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahushai, Ba Hashem, Rakak Wadash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well. And I want to give a special salutation out there to the whole full elect, okay, scattered abroad. I woke up this morning. Right now, it's currently almost 5 o'clock p.m. I woke up this morning to news about RT being banned from the EU broadcasting, and the EU has also asked YouTube to ban RT in any European country. So this is a screenshot from somebody who's in Great Britain. You can see it says YouTube Great Britain. And the person is trying to search up RT News, and it says here, this channel is not available in your country. Okay? So the time is at hand where speaking the truth is now looked at as propaganda or straight up disinformation, you know? And these are the tactics of war, because when you suppress the truth, when you suppress another media outlet, that shows you that you only want one narrative of the conflict being told to the people, you know? The Western world only want one version of the narrative being told to the people, and that's Ukraine good, Russians bad. That's the conflict, and that's the narrative that they want to get out to the people, you know? So if you question anything that they say, they'll say that you're a propagandist, you're a Russian propagandist, you're a war criminal, all these different things. This is Amos 8 and 11, and we all know the scripture right here. Behold, the day is come, saith the Lord, Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And it's funny how a few days ago I did a video talking about be careful of Western disinformation, and now they have totally banned RT in all European countries. So all those brothers that are living in Europe, they're gonna have to go and use VPNs to watch any RT broadcast, or to watch any RT video. They're gonna have to go on Odyssey, because that's the best place you can watch these videos is on Odyssey. You can't use YouTube anymore. So a lot of crazy things are happening, and you know, right now Russia's like the enemy of this conflict. They can easily shift that conflict to the Hebrew Israelites, because once they start moving on us, on the ministry, they're going to also do the same to our videos, to our snippets, to our platforms that we preach on. And every hand will be on us. Every eye will be against us because the news media, as the saying goes, he who controls the information controls the war. Esau is able to manipulate people's feelings, their thoughts, and their logical thinking skills through the media because he can program you and what you want to and what he wants you to believe. Okay? So I'm gonna read a few articles and I'm gonna close it out. I just want to do a quick video on what's going on. So now, if you want to watch RT, you actually have to go on Odyssey. I'm gonna show you. I might as well show it to you now. Let's do this. Let's see right here. So if you want to watch RT, you have to go here on Odyssey and subscribe to their channel, RT. Okay, they're posting a lot of content. You know, you can go on there and watch their videos. And now it seems like everybody's gonna be moving to Odyssey very soon because YouTube is coming down with that hammer. You know, anything that's against their agenda is getting taken down. You know, so there's no such thing as free speech, nothing anymore. You know, let me read this article right here. Where is it? No, that's not what I want. Man, RT has been posting a lot. Here's this. Here's one article. Some of them want to push all of us who think differently into the camp. They would ban all media outlets that speak differently. When they say that media freedom is needed, they think that it's freedom only for them, so that they only exist. I guess it's the Serbian president on RT ban, you know? The collective Western establishment seems to be terrified of a mere presence of any outside voice for the fear of losing their historically captive audience if that audience encounters a different perspective. Yeah, they don't want anyone encountering a different narrative than what's being programmed, what's being pushed out by the Western world, you know? It says here, the parent companies of both sites, Google and Meta, even Instagram as well, they have restricted RT in European countries. Released statements announcing their efforts to restrict and ban access to the Russian media outlets. So RT and Sputnik, they're all being banned right now. And currently, when I'm in the car, I listen to Radio Sputnik, which is pretty much RT. But I listen to Radio Sputnik, and they bring out a lot of information that you wouldn't see on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all these different Western American companies that just give you nothing but lies and lies, you know? And it's funny now that you still have people out there that still believe that those 13 people on Snake Island are dead, you know? You have people out there that believe that the ghost of Kiev is real. You have people out there that believe that fighter jets are taking down Russian fighter jets. All these things are clips from video games that they took. So the war propaganda machine is out there, and a lot of people have been deceived. So how much more for when the time of persecution comes? Okay, the persecution of the followers of Mashiach is going to be a great persecution because these people have already been taken, you know, spiritually. Their minds have been given unto the beast. So there's nothing that could stop them from believing that we're terrorists, that we are radicals, that we wish for the death of all humanity. Something crazy like that. It's going to be something very crazy that they're going to do that's going to brand us as worldwide terrorists, and the whole world is going to take up arms against us. So I'm not going to say too much. You know, like I said, I wanted to make this video quick, just a few words on the RT ban, and those scriptures are coming to mind. So I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of this video, and I'm going to go ahead and close it out.
I mean, how soon do you think this is going to come in? It was expected.
Maybe it was, but I am above all. I mean, independently of the issue between Russia and NATO and Ukraine, I think anyone watching this, any European citizen watching this, should be deeply preoccupied by the assault on his own rights, his or her own rights. You mentioned just now in your report from London about the seizure of assets belonging to Russian oligarchs in London. Well, what happened to due process? What happened to property rights? Are we really saying that from one day to the next, somebody's property can be taken away just because they're deemed to be politically close to Russia? This is literally dictatorship. I don't want to sound hysterical, but somebody has to pull the alarm bell on this and say that these kinds of measures undermine the very thing which the British government and other European governments claim to be standing for, namely the rule of law and democracy.
It's an horrific situation for everyone concerned in Ukraine on all sides. The West, though, is talking about wanting peace to try and find diplomatic way forwards. At the same time, we're hearing a raft of new money and new arms coming in there. Is it going to calm things down or make it worse?
Well, there's no sign at all, as you know, of any meaningful political dialogue, because on the contrary, as you've just said, the British and others, the European Union, has promised to send more arms. It was interesting, by the way, that the Americans a day ago, I think yesterday, said they were prepared to take Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, out of the country. That perhaps was in order to prevent him from meeting the Russians, as he is now going to do, or at least his representatives are going to do very soon.
Yeah,
so
I mean, there is a meeting penned, hopefully, for later on this.
I'm going to go ahead and here you guys can watch the video on RT's channel. Make sure you subscribe to their channels and make sure you subscribe to their channels on Odyssey, because right now the famine of the word and alternate medias are now coming to an end. It seems like they only want one agenda and one agenda only, to push out the narrative that they control. So any information, any spokesperson that speaks out against the narrative that they set down is going to be blocked out from this beast system. So, Lord's will, you guys are edified. Until the next time, shalom.